Our focus remains on Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's arrest by the Central Bureau of Investigation. Now, the CBI has now gotten a 5-day custody of Manish Sisodia. So they now have custody of Manish Sisodia till 4th of March, where they can further question him in this case of the alleged liquor policy scam in the national capital. The CBI has hence got a remand of 5 days in this case of liquor policy scam. The alleged liquor policy scam in the Delhi government. And this is the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister who we were talking about, and he'd been arrested by the CBI yesterday. Now, of course, he's Arvind Kejriwal's trusted aide, and he's been arrested in connection with the liquor policy case. The CBI has told the court that they were seeking Mr. Manish Sisodia's custody for proper investigation, and they further claimed that the Deputy Chief Minister did not properly answer during interrogation. So that was the primary argument on the CBI side. They said that they need further time to question Manish Sisodia, as he didn't answer question and he gave evasive replies on crucial questions that they asked Manish Sisodia in this entire case. Now, the agency said and they alleged that Manish Sisodia changed mobile phones as well. It claimed that the policy profit margin was enhanced and eligibility criteria was also changed to benefit select businessmen, while the agency also alleged that there was some sort of scam in the implementation of the Delhi excise policy, which was released in the year 2021. Now, in the court, the primary argument on Mr. Manish Sisodia's side was that Manish Sisodia is fully cooperating with the investigation. So why does the CBI really need his custody? Why do they need more time to question him? But of course, the court there, the Rouse Avenue court, the CBI court, has granted the CBI 5 days of custody. Those are visuals that you're seeing of Manish Sisodia at the Rouse Avenue court. My colleague Arvind now joining us for the latest on what all happened in the court. Arvind, so the 5-day custody for Manish Sisodia, what does this mean, and what were the major arguments in the court on the basis of which CBI has now gotten this custody?
Priyanshi, Central Bureau of Investigation sought 5 days of custody for Manish Sisodia after producing him before the Rouse Avenue court. The agency told the court that Manish Sisodia was not cooperating with the investigation, and this is a document-based case. Documents are voluminous, and the agency has also recorded statements of several people. So all this evidence have to be confronted with Manish Sisodia, and that's why they sought for the 5 days custody of Manish Sisodia. On the merits of the case, the agency said the agency level 3 main allegations against Manish Sisodia. One, the agency, according to agency, they recovered the draft note of the group of ministers note on the Delhi liquor policy from the system of Manish Sisodia, and that particular draft note had 3 additions to the existing draft policy. One, the profit margin was increased from 5% to 12%, and also the ceiling limit was increased from 100 crore to 500 crore, and also the legal expert opinion that was removed from that particular group of ministers draft note. So that's where CBI raised an allegation saying that this particular note originated from the system of Manish Sisodia. That clearly proves that there was no deliberation or discussion on this enhancement of profit margin from 5 to 12%, and that's why the agency is saying that this was done at the behest of some of the private companies that allegedly benefited out of this Delhi liquor policy. So that seems to be the main allegation that the agency leveled against Manish Sisodia, and also the agency said that Manish Sisodia tried to destroy the evidence wherein he changed his mobile phones. Over a dozen mobile phones were changed during the relevant period, and that's why the agency said that they need a custodial interrogation of Manish Sisodia to get to the bottom of the case. Appearing for Manish Sisodia, 3 senior counsels: Senior Advocate Dayan Krishnan, Senior Advocate Mohit Mathur, and also Senior Advocate Siddharth Agarwal. All these 3 advocates made a point to the court saying that this is not the case for arrest. The agency could not even have arrested Manish Sisodia because he promptly appeared before the agency whenever the agency summoned him for questioning, and then he did cooperate with the investigation. Merely not confessing or merely not self-incriminating or not giving an answer that the agency seeks cannot be the ground for the agency to arrest or seek custody of Manish Sisodia. And also they said on the merits of the case, they said that if at all if the if there were any irregularities in enhancing the profit margin from 5 to 12%, at the end of the day, the cabinet note was put before the LG, and the LG's office cleared the file after deliberation. So it clearly shows that if at all if there was any kind of irregularity, then the LG's office could have objected to it, and then the draft policy could have been amended. But in this particular case, LG office clearly approved it. That shows that there were no kind of there was no irregularity in this matter, and the same LG's office filing a complaint based on which CBI registered an FIR clearly shows that it's a political vendetta. So hearing both the side argument, court agreed with the contention of CBI that this is a case that needs to be investigated, and the agency needs to be given time to get to the bottom of the case, and that's where the court granted 5 days of custody as sought by CBI. So Manish Sisodia has been sent back to CBI's custody at least till March 4th.
Right, Arvind, thanks for joining us with all those details of what all transpired in the court, after which Manish Sisodia has been sent to a 5-day custody to the Central Bureau of Investigation. In fact, he's reached the CBI headquarters there as well, where he is going to stay for the next 5 days. Now, meanwhile, throughout the day, we have seen dramatic protests by the Aam Aadmi Party at the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, and in fact, across several states, including Punjab. So the Aam Aadmi Party was really protesting, and they said that they're going to observe today as a black day in India's democracy. And they said that this is complete political vendetta, while the CBI has no clear evidence against Mr. Manish Sisodia. And there were protests that we saw throughout the day. Now, Tanushree now joining us from outside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Tanushree, those absolutely dramatic protests that played out throughout the day. How is the situation right now outside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters? How are the leaders reacting to this decision of the court of sending Sisodia to a 5-day custody?
Well, Priyanshi, it looks like that after his arrest, most of the leaders, at least the party, was mentally prepared that Manish Sisodia can be sent to the CBI custody. Now, what I'll tell you that the situation is as of now calm. The party has decided, Aam Aadmi Party has decided that they will not be taking out any more protests, at least till today. Tomorrow, they will decide the further course of action. But at least till today, there will be no more protest. None of their workers will be on the streets, because there already has been a protest in the morning. And that protest the entire situation went south when the police asked the workers to retreat, go back. Most of them did a clever move, and they went inside the party headquarters. Now, it's a matter of a rule that Delhi police cannot enter any party headquarters, or any police for that matter, until and unless they have the permission. But this morning we saw how Delhi police actually entered with paramilitary forces inside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, just 200 meters away from the BJP headquarters where the workers were supposed to march, and they dragged out most of the workers, and they detained them and put them in buses and took them away to far off thanas. Now, this was the kind of protest which was there in the national capital. It was already a plan was already in place that if Manish Sisodia gets arrested, when Manish Sisodia was leaving from his residence, Priyanshi, yesterday, he almost preempted. He gave a kind of emotional farewell speech from Rajghat. He tweeted that I might get arrested today, and in that case, I want to tell you that your Manish uncle wants to tell the children of government schools that this is not an off period for you. You should get to your education. So in a way, Manish Sisodia, be it Arvind Kejriwal, be it the Aam Aadmi Party top brass, they were mentally prepared that Manish Sisodia can get arrested. Manish Sisodia can also be sent to the CBI custody, and that's why a plan to mobilize workers, to galvanize our workers was already in place. We saw a protest which went dramatic. Aam Aadmi Party MLA Saurabh Bhardwaj and Atishi Marlena was spearheading it. They were wearing handcuffs in a way to symbolically give an idea to the people and a loud and a clear message that it's the BJP which is using these investigation agencies to go against their political rivals. So that is the clear line. The clear political line as far as the case is concerned, that Aam Aadmi Party is sending out to the people, to their political rivals, that we are an honest government, we haven't done any corruption. Manish Sisodia is an honest, clean man, and this is not about the nuances or the technicalities of the case. This is a predictable script. This is BJP using the investigation agencies to go after their political rivals. So that is the clear line Aam Aadmi Party has taken. There will be no protest till today. Tomorrow, what they need to do will be decided tomorrow itself. Sanjay Singh have told us that we have asked all the workers to maintain calm, not go against the law and order situation in the national capital, and then if there has to be a protest, it will be in a systematic way. But for now, we know that Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of the national capital and an Aam Aadmi Party senior leader, has been sent to the CBI custody. He will be there and questioned at least till the 4th of March. Back to you.
Right, of course, one of the most important ministers in the Aam Aadmi Party cabinet. Of course, he was responsible for 18 out of the 33 portfolios, the departments in the Delhi government. Now, Tanushree, we also spoke about leaders being detained. And as we know that several leaders were detained yesterday as well, and they were released today morning. Were there detentions today as well? How many leaders were detained, if at all? And which are some of the names that you can tell us? And what's the current status of their detention?
Well, Sanjay Singh was detained yesterday and he was taken to somewhere near Chhatarpur. We spoke to him. My colleague Ankit spoke to him over the phone and he said that I'm sitting here inside the thana. He was detained yesterday morning. Then he was let off by the night, just after Manish Sisodia was arrested by the CBI. Now today, not any big leader were detained, but all the party workers, the ground workers of Aam Aadmi Party, Priyanshi, were detained. They were dragged by the Delhi police from inside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Then they were asked to retreat, go back, but they did not do it. They went inside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, which is just 100 meters away from the BJP headquarters where they were supposed to march. And then Delhi police did not leave any stone unturned to ensure that the law and order situation remains intact, because they were given a time bracket and a designated place to protest. When they passed that time off, then that is when the police started to detain. The two leaders who were spearheading the protest were Atishi Marlena and Aam Aadmi Party MLA Saurabh Bhardwaj. They were not detained. They remained inside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, but most of the workers, Priyanshi, were being detained. They have been taken to different thanas at different locations in the national capital, but far off from at least central and Lutyens Delhi. And they will be, what police is telling us, they have already let go of some of the workers. Most of them have already been released, and the remaining will be released by the end of this day. So as far as the law and order situation is concerned, Delhi police this time was extremely serious. I'll tell you that all the routes coming towards the Rouse Avenue, the BJP headquarters, the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters and the CBI headquarters were completely barricaded. This part of the central part of national Delhi, national capital, was turned into a fortress. Only now, just after Manish Sisodia was taken out from Rouse Avenue to CBI headquarters, the police opened the patch and now traffic has been allowed to move, because till this morning there were traffic snarls as well, because of this case there was apprehension that there are going to be several protests in different parts of Delhi. And Delhi police only had one priority in mind, that we have to keep the protesters at bay. We have to ensure the law and order situation, also respecting their right to freedom and respecting their right to protest. And that's why they were given a time bracket and a designated place to protest. After that time, we saw how it went. Delhi police started detaining the workers, not any big leader, but most of the workers of the Aam Aadmi Party were detained. They will be let off before the end of this day. But the big news is that Manish Sisodia is now going to spend his days and at least 4 days and 4 nights and 5 days inside the CBI headquarters, being grilled, questioned on all fronts of this case by the CBI. Back to you.
Right, Tanushree. And on that note, let me just go across to Arvind Gunasekar also. Those 5 days of questioning that Manish Sisodia is now going to face from the CBI at the CBI headquarters. Arvind, what are the grounds that he's now going to be questioned on? Of course, the allegations that you've been reporting on. So what are the main points that the CBI will focus on during these 5 days of questioning of Manish Sisodia?
First, Priyanshi, the agency will be confronting Manish Sisodia with the documents that they have seized, that they have retrieved from the digital devices that they have seized during the course of the search operation. That will be the first process, and then the agency will also confront Manish Sisodia with the statement that the agency recorded, including the officers, some of the officers who worked in the excise department of the Delhi government. So those statements will also be confronted with Manish Sisodia. And what we are being told is that the agency, if at all, if the agency finds that Manish Sisodia is still not forthcoming with the true facts of the matter, then the agency will summon witnesses physically and then will try to confront them with Manish Sisodia at the CBI headquarters. That's also that's the plan which is also in store. So coming to the point, the main allegation that the agency is levelling against Manish Sisodia is that the changes or the tweaks that were made to the draft policy, how did that particular changes made, and whether any deliberations, whether any discussions held before arriving at that conclusion of 12% profit, and how was this ceiling limit increased from 100 to 500 crore, and also why aren't there any files or records that shows that there were some kind of deliberations, etc. And also the agency still feels that this particular profit margin from 5 to 12% was increased at the behest of some of the liquor companies, mainly the ceiling limit that was increased from 100 to 500 crore. Earlier, the companies that were to apply for the wholesale liquor business, they ought to have some 100 crore business turnover, but that was increased from 100 crore to 500 crore. So that's why the agency is saying that this was done specifically to favor one particular company, that's the Indo Spirits company. That company was at the end of the day given this wholesale business. So this Indo Spirits of Samir Mahendra was selected as the wholesale licensee in the Delhi liquor policy, and that's why the agency feels this particular 100 to 500 crore was done only to favor this particular company, so that only Indo Spirits get this license. So that's why the agency is saying that Samir Mahendra was in constant touch with Vijay Nair of Aam Aadmi Party. So Vijay Nair influenced Manish Sisodia to increase his ceiling limit from 100 to 500 crore, and that's why the Indo Spirits got selected as the wholesale licensee. But even in that particular case, Indo Spirits did not have enough funds to run the business, and that's where the South group came into picture. So three people, Kavita of BRS, and also Makuntala Srinivasa Reddy of YSR Congress, and also Sharat Chandra Reddy of Aurobindo Pharma, all these three people invested in Indo Spirits because Indo Spirits didn't have enough funds. So if they invested in Indo Spirits, they took stakes to the tune of over 60% stake from Samir Mahendra of Indo Spirits, and then they infused the money. So when they infused the money, that's where the agency says almost 20 to 30 crore was also infused as advance kickback to Aam Aadmi Party political executives, that was in turn used in the elections of Goa and also Punjab. Those are the big allegations that the agency is levelling. So all these facts and materials that the agency has seized or unearthed during the course of the investigation will be put before Manish Sisodia, and the agency will try to confront him with all this evidence and also physical witnesses.